What's up everybody, Super Duper fan here for another car review. This is of course the 2014 Chevrolet Camaro Z28. Huge thanks to Tom Henry and Tom Henry Racing for hooking me up with this amazing brand new Z28 to review for you guys today. So about the Z28, well, this is the ultimate Camaro essentially. I mean, it's stripped out, it's a race ready car. I mean, it's just insane. Obviously it looks insane. You have that enormous front lip that juts out. And I mean, this car just looks mean from all angles. I mean, I already talked about how mean the Z01 looked when I reviewed that a few months ago. And now Z28 just takes it up a notch. I mean, you have the air extractors, the heat extractors there in the hood, and then you have these crazy wide 305 with tires in the front and in the back. I mean, normally, you know, a lot of cars have really fat rear tires, but to have 305s in the front is insane. And everything about this car is just insane. It has a hand-built 7-liter LS7 motor, 505 naturally aspirated horsepower, and then come along to the back end, it also looks insane with that enormous rear spoiler that's just huge. And I mean, you can tell that the amount of downforce it generates is insane. And I mean, these wheels are just beautiful looking. So there's some of the coolest looking wheels I've seen in a long time. So I mean, everything about this car, especially obviously in black, it just looks super menacing as well. Right, so for the interior of the Z28, I already did a review of the Z01 and the V6 Camaro, and the interiors are pretty similar. The thing is, this is the race version, so I'm just going to talk about the things that make the Z28 different. And basically, everything is an option as far as air conditioning is an option in the Z28, and so is the sound system. If you don't option a sound system, you get one speaker that gives you the chimes whenever the doors open, and that's it. So, you know, so this car has the nice options of air conditioning and the stereo system, but I mean, everything else, it's pretty stripped out. But the one thing you do gain is these amazing Recaro seats, which have just a little bit of wiggle room, but they're really just superb to sit in. I really just love, I mean, the thigh bolsters are insanely high and just really awesome. Just a really perfect seat, and it's comfortable too. And then you have obviously the Alcantara wrapped steering wheel as well, which is very nice. Alcantara is also covering the gear shifter here. And so yeah, but otherwise, you know, it's basically a stripped out Camaro. You know, no other extra goodies or anything like that. This is a race prep car, and so I mean, because of that, I'm surprised it even has back seats, because if you look at the trunk area, they completely took out all the sound deadening out of the trunk and all the carpeting and everything. It's just bare bones, no spare tire. This car is focused on going fast around a track, and so yeah, it's a nice interior, but you know, it gets the job done. It's cool that it has this race-oriented focus. It's very cool. All right, so let's take this car for a drive and see how it does. It has just the basic key. You just slip it in there and it roars to life. All right, so setting off in the Camaro Z28. So first thing you notice, like every other Camaro, very thin windows. You feel like you're driving around in a tank or something. It just, these cars always have a very unique driving sensation when you're going down the road. Visibility, I mean, isn't, you know, as much as it would be if you had a huge windshield, but I mean, you can see out of it just fine. It's not like it's intimidating to drive or anything like that. While we're on this bumpy park road, you know, talk about the suspension here a little bit, and you know, it's, you know, this road isn't too rough, but you can tell that it's very communicative. You can feel everything, but so far it's not jarring. I mean, you just feel every single little bump. Another thing you notice is the clutch is, you know, a little delicate. I mean, obviously this is a brand new car. This one has 50 miles on it. So obviously as you wear those items in, it'll get a little easier, but it's, otherwise it's typical Camaro, which is a good thing. All right, so this car has 505 horsepower. So before we turn onto a back road, let's just turn onto a straight road here and see how it does. Awesome. So it feels different than the Z01, because that was a supercharged car, of course. And so with that car, you know, you were able to have the supercharger boost and that whole push. It's a different sensation with this being all motor. You know, it's the same motor you get in the Z06 Corvette, and so it's, you know, a very progressive build of power. It's not going to, you know, kick you in the pants the way the Z01 does, but it's just great because the throttle response is immediate and everything is just buttery smooth with this engine. And that sound from that exhaust, it's just so sweet too. So while we're on a straight road here, just cruising in this car. It's really nice. You know, it's just as comfortable as any of the other Camaros, really. You know, just going on straight, smooth roads, just cruising along. It's a great cruiser car. Even though that's not what this car is designed for, it still does it very well. All right, so let's see about this power again, shall we? Oh, it just sounds amazing. It's so much fun. It's quick. It's definitely quick. I mean, like I said, I feel like the ZL1 felt faster to me, which makes sense because this has less power, but I mean, you just can't argue with that. And I'm really excited to get on a back road and see just how well it does there. Because this thing, it's a ton of fun even in a straight line. Alright, so we're on some back roads now that are a little bit bumpier than your average road, and you can really start to see this suspension is definitely race oriented. It doesn't make any apologies for that. It's like I said, it's not brash or anything. It's just definitely on the firm side. You know, you're driving a race car for the street, and but yeah, I mean, it feels really good. I mean, these carbon ceramic Brembo brakes are huge on this car too. So I mean, the brake feel, you know, it's weird. With these ceramics, there's good feel and there's obviously excellent bite, but it's like they're so strong that you just dip into them a little bit and you just have tons and tons of braking power. It's really cool. But yeah, while we're on this back road here, let's just keep driving and see how this thing does around some corners. And we're on these bumpy roads, and just this is very stiff suspension. It all adds to the drama and theater, though. I'm not going to knock it for having a stiff suspension. It's a Z28. It's supposed to be hardcore, but it definitely is hardcore. Obviously, this car has such high limits, it's hard to even approach them on the streets, and I'm not getting anywhere near the limits of this car. But you can tell, though, that even while you're going around, you know, corners at moderate speeds here, I mean, just how flat everything is, and body roll and everything is just, it's so planted. I mean, you can tell this car just doesn't break a sweat around any kind of corner, and it really is just a race car. It's really what it is. And it's just so willing, and that engine, the more I drive this engine around these corners, it's really, the throttle response and just the way it delivers power. I can see why they chose this motor here for the Z28. It definitely makes sense, and as a total package, it's really great. I know some people might, you know, look at the lower horsepower of this over the ZL1 and wonder what Chevrolet was thinking, but with the way it delivers the power, not that the ZL1 was bad with power delivery, but this just feels right. I don't know, I like the way it is in this car. Why not? It's so satisfying because this motor, you know, has to kind of be revved a little bit. It doesn't have crazy power down low like the ZL1. It still has plenty of torque. It's like 481 foot-pounds, but it's fun, you know, kind of revving these motors out a little bit more, and you can exploit the whole power band easier in this than you can in the ZL1. But it's fun. It's just different flavors, just all preference. What do you prefer? But this is fun. I love this thing. So yeah, obviously this is a brand new Z28, and they're not making a whole lot of these anyway. So very appreciative to Tom Henry Chevrolet and Cam and everyone there at Tom Henry Racing for hooking me up with this car to review for you guys today. I'm not going to be able to drive this car around all afternoon like I do in some of my other reviews, and that's just simply because this car has 50 miles. Now it has 58 from this review. Just did a very limited drive here, but I just want to give you guys my impressions of this sweet car. It's definitely fun for sure. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care.